Wow. I have to admit, that was tricky. So you got to see, like, it made it kind of real, and the fact that, like, I got nervous.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have answers at times. And so, like, tell me, what was your experience watching it?
Well, I think you did a really awesome job with deposits. There were tons and tons of deposits going on. And at the beginning, I think you were trying to kind of provide open-ended questions, but there was, like, a little bit of time where you guys just kind of had to, like, chat a little bit to kind of get the conversation going and make it, like, feel natural and stuff. And then once you had the conversation going, it went really well, and you guys were communicating well. You stated the goal clearly, and you used a lot of facts and I statements, when explaining Elliot's specific behaviors. And then I think, the idea of working as a team was kind of embedded through the conversation, but really at the end talking about, like, oh, we're doing this at school, you can try it at home. And, mom being like, oh, I should I do this at home or that? Like, I think that really was good to, like, see, like, you guys are working as a team and trying to support Elliot. And I think there was a lot of opportunities to say, to, like, have that conversation go downhill quickly, and you did a really good job at saying, like, he plays so well with his friends, and we love to have him, and he always makes us smile, to keep it on that positive note. So I think that was good.
Great. Thinking about that whole process and the family, one piece of it that I got pulled in at the end was thinking about the family, like, they have a couple of things happening. So, they have a new baby coming. So that's a need that's happening in the family that we'll have to consider through this conversation that we didn't consider beforehand. Yeah. So that's like a need of theirs. Also, thinking about that they weren't both at the conference. So I don't know if you think they'll both be at the conference.
I think they will be. Yeah.
Okay. And so thinking about if they're not both there, like, what kind of strategies would you maybe want to think about as far as
everyone gets the information?
Yeah, the communication.
Okay.
And then I, just thinking, like, when I think about kiddos with needs, like, I don't see Elliot as a kiddo with needs. Like, I don't see him as somebody or a family that they need extra support.
Yeah.
There yet, like, as far as, like, bringing in outside resources and
I wouldn't see that.
Evaluations and things like that. So I don't think that's something that we would need to expand on, but just thinking about their family culture, what's coming to them, if they're both there, and making sure that communication happens. So what about getting you into behavior rehearsal and, like, your learning style, and how did this work for you?
I think it was really a good example and kind of like fun to see. I've never, like, sat in on a parent-teacher conference. I've only ever led them, and so I've never had the opportunity to, like, watch some. I've been in one parent-teacher conference where I was just there to listen, and it was, like, devastatingly horrible. Like, the teacher did such a bad job, and, like, it ended very poorly, and so, like, it was kind of nice to see you, like, guide the conversation. And I think sometimes one thing that I find sometimes is, like, parents get, like, really distracted, and they start talking about this, and they want to tell you a story from the weekend, and then, like, that, and blah, 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 and you were able to kind of, like, guide the conversation. It was still really natural and fun, but like, accomplishing something.
Right.
Because I've
getting back to the goal.
yeah, being able to say, we were talking about different things, but bringing it back to that goal and clearly going through the steps needed to, talk about that. Because I find a lot of times with parents, they'll just go in a different direction when you're, like, really won't want to accomplish a specific goal.
Right. So what kinds of things do you think you might need, like knowing like your learning style to help you, work through making sure you get through your skill set
Yeah.
and you get to your point. Like I notice a lot of times like you have like things written out. I know in the past like you've had visuals up. So like what kinds of things do you feel like you'll need to support yourself?
Well, I've made like a little write up that talk like for each kiddo, really highlighting some like specific things that we've seen growth in. Just for like more deposits, kind of like a backup, like need something to say. We've also like clearly wrote out what the goal is for each parent teacher conference. So like
did
Elliot,
you?
yeah.
Nice.
So like Elliot's is
That's
like
great.
there and to the point. I think the one thing that I'll have to like is the only thing that I'm a little about is wait time, and just because like I know that I get so nervous, and as soon as I get nervous, it's just
I do. I got
yes,
nervous.
you do.
I get that feeling.
So I think just keeping that in the back of my mind.
Is there something you could do to support that? Like I know you put like the owls in your classroom.
Yeah.
Like I wonder if there's like some little
like a note or something. Yeah, I think just a note on my conference paper or something to just remind myself that you don't have to talk a million miles a minute.
Yeah. Totally. What other? Is there any part of the conversation that you felt you weren't sure how you would have responded, or that you were like that you might need a little more support in?
I don't think so. I felt like no, I think the conversation went well. It went kind of like according to kind of what I foresee that conversation being like. So I think it was really good tell of things.
I know that I struggled with how to wrap up the conversation and end it.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's something, because I know that we're just similar in social skills and our learning styles and stuff. That's something I struggle with. It was like, hey, how do I, like, I feel like we've gotten to our point, we accomplished the conversation, Mom or Elizabeth participated a lot and got, her questions in and stuff, and then I was struggling with, okay, like, how do I end this conversation? So,
well, I think one thing is, like, maybe, like, mentioning time, because, like, conferences, we are, like, on a schedule, and so I feel like maybe just, like, reminding parents, like, oh, this conference is over in 5 minutes. Let's take these next 5 minutes to really look at our next steps and talk about like what we want to do.
Right.
And just kind of just throwing that out there, and I feel like that would be a good way to kind of keep them on track. Perfect. Otherwise, you're here for like 6 hours.
Perfect. And I really love that you came up with the idea of doing the storybook for the classroom, because that's something that we can teach all kids.
Yeah.
So no matter what child, where they are developmentally, what their ability is, like that whole concept of using that scripted story to teach, everybody to wait or to go ask a teacher for help or, to do, I forget what the other skills are you're going to put in there, but I think that's great. And I love that. Mom wanted to use it at home.
Yes.
Okay. Well, the next thing we're going to do is we'll just do a little planning around our behavior rehearsal and such, but I think we're good as far as modeling.
Cool.
So great. Cool. Thank you, Chelsea.